afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and today I'm gonna do Scarlet from GI Joe. For whatever reason, I grew up on GI Joe, but for whatever reason, I did not haven't watched a lot of it recently, and I was working on some projects. And we just threw it on because YouTube, like Hasbro on YouTube, threw up like, I think all of it, and so we've just been playing it, and goods and bads, goods and bads. Hey man, how's it going? Oh, well, right now at this moment, it is only one crazy savage. We have ourselves a second crazy savage. How is the mother of the other crazy savage?
Mom unit is good.
Good.
And she was letting me know she made it back into town. She went out, her and I think another family member. It was a women's conference thing that they had.
Those crazy Christian women's conferences.
It was in a campground.
At a campground. Probably not a whole lot in the way of heavy drinking, I take it.
Well, they got rained out, so they couldn't really do a lot of the stuff that they wanted to do. But she was letting me know she made it back home. She'll call me tomorrow because she had a really good time. And I was telling her to let me know when she goes out and comes in.
Speaking of crazy women who spent a lot of time at campgrounds, apparently, as I'm making this up as I go,
segue.
and it's potentially true, Scarlet from G.I. Joe. Yes, I am having a fairly shirtless Thundar moment right now. I realize it's technically fall, but this still is the last. This is my time of year. It's not too hot. It's nice. It's not cold. Get wind, and to be honest, I gotta do it. I gotta, and I'm not gonna say show off the guns because that is wrong. Maybe show off the hams. Maybe. I wouldn't go as far as pot roast because that's way too solid of a description for my arms. But I'm going to enjoy it as long as I can. Because honestly, I like summer, I like winter, but right now, this weather is perfection.
And crunching in the background, I'm eating a snack because I'm hungry.
And I thought I would share, especially now that we have another person with us. Okay, a lot of people make fun of, either love or make fun of G.I. Joe. I actually think that there should be a lot of love there, but there's some reason to make fun of it, I admit. But when I was a kid with my brother, the first G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, the first miniseries, when that came on, it was kind of amazing. I was like 4. Wait, that came out 83 or something? So 4 or 5. I know, Lady J is awesome. She totally is awesome. But in the original series Mass Device, Scarlet was the and she really was pretty darn good. And it really is a toss-up. There are three original G.I. Joe ladies, Scarlet, Lady J, and CoverGirl. And CoverGirl they never did anything with, and there was multiple versions of her. But Scarlet and Lady J, always perfect. And the fact is incredibly simple. They're both great characters.
I had my very first G.I. Joe was Scarlet.
And I still think Scarlet's awfully cool, but you're right. Lady J she's got like a couple points over Scarlet.
Oh, I love Lady J.
But I don't think she had 1,000 points over Scarlet. I think she had about 50 points. Because Scarlet was still great. I mean, I didn't entirely understand why she had throwing stars or whatever the heck that was on her gloves, forearm guards, but you can't ever forget how awesome the crossbow character is. And she was kind of the proto Lady J in many ways.
I love Lady J over Scarlet, even though Scarlet was like my first G.I. Joe action figure. And my parents got her for me because again, I wanted the girl character who was also a cute book character.
And G.I. Joe, give them a lot of credit. They had some pretty darn good female characters for the few that they had. They were good.
But I love Lady J because she was more so being able to hang with the dudes. She wasn't just the girl character.
There was sort of a classic animated, and it's nothing against the voice actress. I thought she did a great job.
I love the voice actress.
But she had sort of this sound that was a little bit more classic, like she was tough for a classic cartoon lady. But there was something about Lady J, like she sounded like she was had a little bit of like she smoked a little or something. I don't know what that was, but she had a voice that wasn't.
She had a bit of a husk for her.
Thank you, husky. Maybe she had a 20-pack a day voice. No, she was a little husky.
More raspy.
Raspy.
Yeah.
And the thing that I liked Lady J over Scarlet was, it wasn't that her hair was shorter, it's that it was loose and it was more wild. And so she had a more wild look. Scarlet had a little bit more of a...
She had a traditional pretty girl look.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind. It's like, again,
No,
as a kid,
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I liked her design, but when I saw Lady J, I loved Lady J because she was just... Excuse me.
she was in there getting sauced up,
she
apparently.
made a drink, that woman.
That woman drove me to drink. I have some experience. Hey.
My fault you can't handle.
Oh, I can handle, but I have limits. I'm just saying.
Jerk. Anyway.
Lady J was more of a foil to Baroness than Scarlet was. True. You expect a catfight between Scarlet and Baroness as opposed to a battle of wits, but yeah, that's true between Lady J and Baroness. Yeah, that's true. And Baroness was... okay, yeah, villain. But she was a seriously great female character, considering the time period. And we went back and we were watching some of the originals. And what I loved is one of the first loose episodes where it wasn't part of a big miniseries or whatever. Flint and Lady J was on, I think, an aircraft carrier, and the Admiral was just the biggest misogynist pig possible. I mean, he was obnoxious. And it was actually great because not only did Flint have a problem with it, Lady J basically just, like, brushed him off. You know, and that was, like, one of those moments when I was a kid, and I actually remember that moment going, like, because you're used to kind of seeing... late 70s, early 80s, you're used to seeing mild misogyny and not thinking about it. You just are.
Not so mild.
and not so mild. But that moment I was like, yeah! You know, and that was the moment I think I liked Lady J more. But I always loved Mass Device. It's the first one. It's the one I have the most memories with. And to be honest, Scarlet was great in that.
Yeah.
Including a sequence where she was actually thrown down a flight of stairs and shook it off. That was like, woof. When I was a kid, I remember seeing that sequence going like, ow! And then she kind of got up and started kicking butt again, and I was going like, yeah!
I kind of chuckled at that scene because there was one particular scene where they made an animation mistake. And I just chuckled at that because I'm like, oh, maybe she was just concussed from the fall. It was like they put the wrong, because it was when she was fighting the other lady, the slave girl.
Serena,
lady.
the slave girl, yes.
And they put her in the shadow when it should have been Scarlet. And it was like the girl was talking, but Scarlet, they were showing Scarlet. And they somehow mixed it up. And I just chuckled. I was like, "Oh, she was just concussed when she fell down when they threw her down the stairs." Because it was like such a weird, weird. The way they did it was really slightly confusing and stuff. But yeah, I saw that scene. I was like, "Holy crap! That that was pretty hardcore.
Well, that was the thing that I liked about it. They didn't show it to be like we're beating up on a woman, look how weak she is. They threw her down a flight of stairs and she shrugged it off. That's what I liked about G.I. Joe. Yeah, they didn't go as full bore with the female characters as they did with the male characters, but they went really close. You know, and they had moments like there's one where, which is, you know, I was actually fine with it. I still am. Where, you know, Snake Eyes gets caught in the radioactive cave and he sacrifices himself and Scarlet cries a little. I'm like, all right, to be fair,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, yeah, it might have been slightly stereotypical, but it was still, you know, like,
And they were buddies.
she was still, yeah, they were like close buddies.
Yeah, so
And she
so
still
yeah.
ended up being like super tough.
Yeah, it wasn't she's gonna cry for her buddy. I mean, that's. I mean, heck, in G.I. Joe the movie, people were crying when when Duke was in the
When he got
hospital.
snaked. When he got seriously snaked.
Everybody, Duke's okay. Tears.
The Traitor Part 2, Lady J, holding the dude short. Oh, yeah, holding the dude short as tackling him, laughing hysterically. She was laughing hysterically. It was one of the... Well, that was the thing I loved about G.I. Joe. There was a lot of moments in G.I. Joe where it was either strangely well thought out, or it was madcap crazy, or it was like flat out, what? Like even if you love G.I. Joe, you were still a little confused. Like, why? Why did that happen? You know, so it was this weird mix of these strangely well-written moments, and those are good. I love the madcap where you get these moments of WTF moments. You know, where you're like, what? Like the Fatal Fluffies. Let's bring in what Hasbro would sell as stuffed plushes, and turn them into fire-breathing monsters armed with machine guns. I mean, it is in fact super difficult for me to not go like, I'm going to sit on the side of G.I. Joe on this one. That's pretty sweet.
And the fun thing with as we were watching the episodes and stuff, I know there was quite a few I remember seeing. I'm like, I don't remember seeing these, and then it finally dawned on me. I was like, oh yeah, I only remember watching a few of them because G.I. Joe came on right before school ended. And so the only times I got to see them was either when I was homesick or school was canceled that day. And so
for me, it was always perfectly timed in my area. I grew up on it. I was, including the bad episodes.
yeah, because I didn't get out with elementary and elementary school didn't get out until 3:30. And then middle school didn't get out till 3:05, and G.I. Joe came on at 2:30. And so, yeah, I was like, unless I was home for some reason and stuff, I wouldn't catch any G.I. Joe. And I think maybe they moved it at some point, but then no, they didn't. They just took it off after a while because they started showing other stuff.
Yeah, well, it frankly went out of fashion. It was that simple.
Yeah, but it was on for quite a while. And stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that G.I. Joe was a serious staple of afternoon cartoons in my area, and I clearly it is like 80s propaganda. I mean, I get it. I mean, American flag flying everywhere, and it was just so clearly over the top.
Joe says, let's see. The Viper episode was the classic Madcap episode. Getting all the phone calls
Viper.
from the
I vipe the windows. Oh, that's what I also loved about it is they just went in it and they didn't care. They didn't care if they were making a goofy joke or not. That's actually what was kind of great about that.
I like how they assembled the entirety of the base, all just with this big giant firing line, and brought out all of their big guns, and this little janitorial guy just comes walking up with a mop and a bucket.
And if I remember correctly, They raided a bunch of Cobra bases too, and Cobra's like, "Who's this leak?" Like they were trying to figure. Yeah, there were moments in GI Joe that honestly, it was a good show. I mean, you know, and there were episodes that sucked. They're flat out. They didn't always hit the mark. But
Shipwreck's
overall,
Dream episode.
what?
Shipwreck's Dream episode.
Shipwreck Dream.
Shipwreck's Dream episode. When he got like knocked out or something, and he was
Be more specific.
he was either dreaming or fantasizing or something. But it was oh man, I can barely try to remember it because I remember as a kid watching it once and I was like, this was stupid. And then when I would next time when I was at home and it was on again, and I was mad because I wanted to see something different, but I saw the same stupid episode. But it was like he was in some kind of like weird dream or
Vaguely sounds familiar.
some type of like sequence or something like that. It was something bizarre, but he was not. He was in an altered state.
Could be.
It was,
I do know that there was one episode that was of his that was so dark. They kidnapped him and put him into a town of synthoids and made him think that it was like 5, 10, or 15 years later and he was retired.
I vaguely remember.
And
now.
that was
Yeah.
so dark because they gave him like a wife and kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a sequence where they melt down and his family is melting in front of him. He's freaking out. And I'm going like, oh my God. Like as a kid, I was like, holy crap. This is a good show.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that one. I think that was one of the ones that got played once and then they didn't
It got
play
played
again.
once in our area too. They never played it again. I was going like, whoa! That probably got some complaints, to be honest.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I still laugh to this day because I can almost set my watch to it whenever we go visit your parents.
I know, it's great.
And
I
your
love Mom.
Your mom just brings it up and just
I feel so bad about you kids watching G.I.
shouldn't have
Joe.
let
It's
you
so
watch
violent.
that.
And I look forward to her saying that every single time. I just was like, oh, Mom, I love you.
I shouldn't have let you
G.I. Joe
watch
does
that.
not compare to some of the stuff being played on TV now.
Oh,
Though it had its moments.
Well, heck, even then it didn't compare to a lot of the stuff. I mean, heck, what,
It was, in some ways, it had some content that other shows didn't. Like that Synthoid thing, that was pretty serious. I don't remember another show with like a thriller horror moment like that in it. And,
the Care Bears movie had kid Satan.
okay, well, I never saw that, so I can't speak to it. So I'll take
My
your.
Little Pony had the schmooze that showed the destruction of an entire civilization as this ooze went through and killed creatures and wrecked civilizations.
What about when
all-
Destro
all
ate
to
that
this
kitten?
all to the tune of this super happy song.
What about when Destro ate that kitten? I'm lying.
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you because you're full of crap, Aaron.
Well, you missed the joke. I said I couldn't tell you.
Oh.
And yes, you are full of crap too.
Episodes in the ship was knocked down. Yeah, it was one of the Springfield episodes. That's right. That's right. His 6-year-old had a rocket launcher.
Okay.
God, that's such a good show. Yeah, there's just moments in it where you're like, only in the 80s. Like, we're not going to get that stuff anymore. And I actually kind of feel sad,
I think
actually.
we are. We're just getting it in a sort of a different way because we've watched some stuff. where we're
We're
just
not
like,
going to have a cartoon where a child is legitimately carrying an RPG and pointing it at an adult.
well, not that, but I mean, but
that's what I'm saying.
But some of the dark stuff that we've seen.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, no doubt.
Regular show had people pointing various launches and.
Yeah, but it
people-
wasn't like a child legitimately pointing like a rocket launcher at her dad, like in seriousness. Like even though she was a synthoid, blah blah blah. Still,
But a guy did like step on a gas and killed a bad guy by dropping him into a giant pit.
Yeah, but that
scar.
was for comedic effect, hon. I'm just saying, I think that's a little different. I'm gonna nail this face. I have been writing all weekend, and my hand is not agreeing with me right now. That, and I'm talking about children with weaponry. So, oh, the Norm weaponry song.
We're going to see the eagle and not the dove.
Okay, there we go. That's feeling a little better.
Scratch myself. Ow. I'm bleeding. I got a bleeding.
Oh.
My niece, my second oldest niece, when she was little, when she would get a scratch or something and it would be a little bit of blood, that's what she would say. I got a bleeding.
You have a message.
Hold on 1 second. Let me put my glasses back on because, let's see. I'm going to feel confusing now with the episode talking about why low light isn't sleep. That was episode that showed that it was this nightmares and the joys that into them to find why he was hiding them. No, it was specifically a shipwreck episode because I remember shipwreck being in it. So maybe that's the first one that you said with it was a two-party. Maybe that's what it was, and I just only caught like a small part. Wait, let me think. Let me look, because it was shipwreck, and
Something about what you're describing sounds familiar, but that's about
it. He was living out a fairy tale.
It was what?
He was doing a fairy tale. It was shipwreck doing a fairy tale.
Oh, that one sucked.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
one was hideous.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
now. That one was really bad.
Yeah, that's the one.
That was one
about.
of the ones where you're just like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was like shipwreck and was it the Three Little Bears or not? The shipwreck and the Three Little Joes. That's what it was.
Yeah, that one was hideous.
Yeah, that one just I remember watching that. I was like, this is stupid. And then another time when I was home and it came on again, I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm watching Price is Right.
Yeah.
No, Price is Right came on in the early in the morning. I turned it off of something else. I was like, oh, whatever. They like soap operas are on or something. What's going on over here? Yeah, now I'm gonna look that one up and see because
that one was really bad.
Yeah,
I hated that.
I knew I was
one.
remembering something because it started to piece itself back in my head now.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I mean it. When G.I. Joe was bad, it was really bad. When it was good, though, it's like you would be like, wait, what was going on? Like there's moments where they're discussing stuff that is so legitimately serious. You know, a couple of them, they were talking about attacking the governmental agencies that were covering all terrorism across the planet. That's not normal stuff in a kid's cartoon, that's significantly more, mature than, even though it was still kind of a silly show, it's like they took moments going like, let's actually make this like a thing. Like we watched the one last night where they used the synthoids for the first time, and they, instead of attacking G.I. Joe, they went after the military and government levels with synthoids, so all the people above them were like cutting all of their funding and stuff, and I was going like, this is...
Yeah, that's actually kind of...
It's actually clever. It's actually really clever.
Which also made me laugh because that was also the plot to the Kim Possible movie.
Well, I know that episode. It wasn't just a shipwreck episode. He and a few others was those in the book. And first I thought they were
thought, why were they doing a Super Friends episode of
Thank
G.I.
you.
Joe?
Wow.
I was like,
I am a little fried today.
Let me handle the reading.
I know, man. I am having one of those days. I get my words all jumbled up and stuff.
I can't word.
I can't, yeah. I can word good for a few seconds and then I word bad the rest of the time.
But yeah, man, that was, I remember that episode and I was just like, oh, wow, this kind of sucks.
Well, there were like episodes where they spent like $5 making it, and then there were episodes where they spent a lot of money on it. You could just tell where they were like, yeah, this script sucks, just get it done. Mm-hmm. And of course, the longer the show went, the less money they had, and
G.I. Joe was trying. Hasbro was trying to do other properties and stuff, and by that time, G.I. Joe was starting to sink in popularity and everything. And
well, the thing was, is they got away from what made it good. They just started, which, by the way, I get early on that G.I. Joe had a bunch of silly toys. I get it. It's what it was. But what I'm saying is they just started making random toys. Lots and lots and lots of characters that no one cared about. You know, where it was like in like Mass Device, you got into Duke, you got into Scarlet, you got into Snake Eyes, you got into a number of the villains, you got into specific things. And then you get hit with Revenge of Cobra, that's Weather Dominator? Weather Dominator. Yeah. And you get Lady J and Flint, and you like them, and you get Zartan in there, and you're like, in the Dreadnought, and you like these characters, and blah, blah, blah. And then they try trading them off for characters you've never heard of, you don't like. You're like, okay, fine, make new characters, sell more toys, I don't care. But people like these characters. What are you doing?
All right, Joe says, Eric, that episode was ingenious, talking about the synthoid one. The fact that they were going to put Junkyard down because he could detect the synthoid fakes.
Right?
And he says the toys had an alien force. Why an alien force? They moved completely from military and got corny.
I know. Well, what I also love was it was they had this whole bit where they're like destroy the dog, get that guy, blah blah blah. And you're going like, as a kid, I was like, oh crap. And then all the Joes are freaking out. And then the guy who you think is the stoner, rock and roll, is like, I'll go get him, blah, blah, blah. And he was the only one smart enough to ride off and help Mutt and Junkyard get out. You know, and then you have this great plot of Destro turning on Cobra because of his ego. I mean, that's good stuff. Cobra Commander had the audacity to make a synthoid of me. You know, I mean, he's such a ham, and yet you're like, oh, God, the ego on this guy. And, you know, Destro destroyed Cobra's best chance of taking G.I. Joe out because of his ego. That is amazing. That's really good stuff right there. You know, and by the way, the episode we watched last night or the night before, I was just going like, oh, I'd forgotten how good some of these were, because I was remembering how bad some of it really got. Like the one episode, that episode was really hideous.
And we noticed. That those episodes, if I remember, it said it was written by Paul Dini. So
yeah, and he's, you know, and he took it seriously, which is what he should have been doing.
Which is, knowing his history of work, I'm not surprised that those were the better ones. It got super warm.
Okay, so you thinking Chinese tonight?
I'd have to go, I have to order it now and go pick it up right before we head out when we get it by dinner time.
Well, is that what you would like? Because I know you were kind of daydreaming on the couch with a Chinese menu in front of you. So
I was thinking of 3 different things at the exact same time, and that menu.
Yeah, but there was still drool coming down your chin.
That's because I'm sleepy. That's because I'm sleepy.
I was drooling and had Chinese food menus in front of me because I was sleepy. To be fair, loves me some Chinese, so.
I'm also going through a bit of hold on, let me read it here. I'm a bit tired and lack of food.
Oh, dude, that's one of the ones I've been wanting to watch. Like in the 2-part episode Beyond the Ends of the World. How you are remembering all these names? Probably from Google, but still, I'm impressed. Where Baroness started a civil war between Destro and Cobra Commander to help the rest of the world. Wasn't that in an alternate dimension? There was one where they were in an alternate dimension like that. But yeah, no, I remember that, and there's this whole bit at the end, and there's a scene with Cobra Commander and Destro and all their forces facing each other and stuff, and, you know, there's moments where G.I. Joe legitimately was not a normal kid's cartoon. That's what I really liked about it.
I just liked it because it was probably one of the first like action cartoons and stuff that I was able to get into. Probably one of the first ones I actually remember seeing and stuff, because at that time, that was 84, 85, maybe.
Something like that. I'm not quite remembering exactly.
Really good. I was just.
Thank you. Man, I am glad I remembered that. That was a memory from when I was like 6 or 7, so I'm pretty proud of Eric's brain at the moment. Yeah, they had this great bit up the front where some of the Joes went up to like a little ma and pa place, and like all of, you know, it was like this fascist alternate America with a ma and pa, I think, gas station or convenience store, and they'd only take like Cobra credits and stuff. As a kid, I was like, whoa, like it was just out there. I was like, yeah. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to have to watch that one again soon. I remember that one being really good. This is not as good as I was hoping, but she's at least sort of turning out.
Alright, sure, we can do Chinese food tonight. What sounds good to you? The beef usually has less, for me at least, less of a lot of the salty stuff that they usually use. So
I'm sorry, the what?
The beef.
I just want a veggie. I don't.
Oh no, I'm saying for me. So
oh, okay.
What do you want? Because they have vegetable dishes, and then they have.
Unless they have like shrimp. They have a shrimp dish in there.
Oh yeah, they got seafood.
The doctor didn't like my blood readings, so I have to behave myself.
Yeah, they have lots of shrimp.
That was at the retina scan, because you could be an enemy of the state. Oh my God, that was so good. I kind of miss that level of 80s paranoia in shows today. I love I guess that's a strange thing to say. I love the paranoid America entertainment. You know, where Russian spies were always around the corner and stuff, and it could always turn into a dystopian state, which I think Google and social media might have actually succeeded in doing, but maybe. What if Cobra was actually just like social media and we found out that they won?
Well, that's the plot to Renegades, isn't it?
No, they were Walmart and Renegades.
Well, I'm saying, but since they were taking over...
Yeah, they were taking over via
stuff.
very normal means.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen G.I. Joe Renegades, watch G.I. Joe Renegades. It is an absolute sin that they only made one season of
now,
that.
I gotta make sure if it's Renegades, not Resolute, because we keep...
No, Renegades. It is G.I. Joe Renegades. Okay. Basically, they did A-Team with G.I. Joe, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it is Renegades, right? Yeah, that was probably my favorite iteration of G.I. Joe. That was just...
It is smartly done.
Yeah.
And the show owner was upset because...
The glasses back on. Show owner was upset because they gave them knockover money. $2 grand too many of these episodes now. Yeah, I mean, they have them up there, and that's how we've been watching it, through YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, well, Hasbro officially put them up,
yeah,
so...
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was, so they put those up, oh crap, who owns, I am blanking because I need to eat. They put the entirety of He-Man and She-Ra up. Whoever owns that. Is it Filmation?
I think that's still Hasbro.
I thought it was Filmation that did.
Maybe I
Yeah.
was.
I can't remember.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah, but a lot of the long running '80s cartoons are now up on YouTube for free, and they put them up. And that's cool because why not? You know.
Yep.
Was it a couple weeks ago when we did the deep dive into our favorites old school cartoon openings? That was fun. Joe says G.I. Joe Renegades was the modern prequel to the lore before they became created before having been hit.
The thing I also liked about that season, it in essence was they covered up the fact that they were redoing Mass Device as well. Like you got to the end and suddenly you're like, wait a minute, this is a redone Mass Device story. You know, whereas in the original Mass Device, it was so clear that that's what it was about. In G.I. Joe Renegades, you didn't really figure that out until the very end. I think I did one of the Kramer, that kind of thing. I was like, it's Mass Device! Oh my god, it's Mass Device! And I nerded out.
Okay, hate to interrupt in a second, because if I don't order now...
Yeah, you go and you do your order.
What do you want? Do they have
I asked, do they have a shrimp something?
And I said yes, and we started talking again.
What is the shrimp something?
They have walnut shrimp, sweet and sour, bitter melon, baby oyster omelet, spicy shrimp, spicy shell on shrimp, salt and pepper shell on shrimp.
Did you say spicy shrimp?
Spicy shell on shrimp, yes.
Shell on. No, keep going. I don't want to have to shell my shrimp.
Salt and pepper shell on shrimp, salt and pepper shrimp, stir-fried shrimp and scallop with king mushroom, mixed seafood and nest, I don't know what that is. Kung Pao shrimp, contains peanuts. Shrimp with ginger and scallions.
What was that last one?
Shrimp with ginger and scallions.
That one.
Okay.
That sounds delightful.
Let's see. Do you want extra veggies with it too?
Brown rice.
Let me see if that's a choice. See if they can do brown rice instead. I didn't see an option for brown rice, so I just put in the notes, please add brown rice to this meal.
Yes.
I was going to add a tip, but then I remember the last time I did that, they got mad at me for giving them a tip for picking it up. I was like, wow, okay. They said 30 to 40 minutes.
Cool.
So I will, in about 10 minutes, I'll get moving. Should probably put some pants on. Pants at the devil. Alright, back to the show. Back to the show.
Just so you know, my hearing aids went out, so magic time with Eric's hearing.
You want me to grab batteries for you?
Could you?
Yeah. Joe says, team life with no kids, yeah. You got that right.
I don't want to do that to people who have kids because it's kind of mean. But I got to admit, I'm not entirely sure. I guess I should say I'm glad we went the direction we did. I'm sure later on in my life I'd be like, man, I wish I had a blank, a son or a daughter or something, but I don't know, kind of like cover your ears if you know you're, faint of heart. But I don't know, rather like walking around in my underwear and not worrying about all that stuff and just being a giant weird fanboy.
Well, you still can with kids. It's just that.
Yeah, but you could also get like arrested.
You know how many? Like that's one of the things I actually saw. Like that's how dads bond with their boys. Like they were both walking around in their underwear.
I don't recall doing that with Dad, but maybe.
What?
I don't recall doing that with Dad, but maybe.
Well, maybe not.
I might have. I just don't. I don't recall.
Either like underwear or just like wearing your shorts and that's it. I remember like my brothers did that with my dad. They would like go outside and fix cars and have like their shirts.
So they're out there in their tidy whities fixing a car.
I was saying shorts.
Shorts. Okay, I was not trying to imagine that, but you sort of threw that image into my head, and I was going like, I'm having a hard time imaging this, sweetie. and slash I don't want to.
Joe says in Renegades the Joe team wasn't formed yet, and I love how Lady J kept messing up Flint for capturing Duke, Scarlet, Roadblock, and the others. It was fun how she kept giving them insight with Flint having no clue. I want to rewatch that series again.
It is up on Tubi, if I remember correctly. I was planning on rewatching it.
Yep, because I've been wanting to see that.
Well, that and what I liked was they looked at characters in a smarter way. Mm-hmm. They looked at them in a way where they were like, Firefly's a pyromaniac. He's not just some creepy, dangerous explosives guy. He's legitimately a pyromaniac. And that made him so much scarier. You're like, oh, he really enjoys burning things. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm scared of this dude. Kind of a thing. Where are you? Been looking forward to doing this. There's too many lines on her face. The rivalry between Roadblock and Heavy Duty from childhood, and the fact that Heavy Duty couldn't bring Roadblock. Cool, I'm trying to remember that part. Yeah, I definitely need to rewatch it. I'm blanking on some details. I kind of remember the broad stroke stuff because we watched the series once. And I just remembered enjoying the heck out of it. See, one of the things I liked was the fact that Tomax and Zaymont were basically cult leaders. I mean, they just had fun with thinking about these characters in different ways. No. I believe me, dude. I get it. Do not, do not apologize. It's just one of those things where it's just like, I just can't remember everything. I wish I could. Which is why I kind of rewatch things on a fairly regular basis to remind myself. Which is why I was like, why haven't I been rewatching G.I. Joe? Because for some of its faults, it's got a lot of really good thumbs up on it. I mean, honestly, let me see. Bazooka and Alpine are great together. Shipwreck is often great. I wish Polly would shut up. But Shipwreck can be fun. When the episode last night, oh my god, Shipwreck was hitting on Scarlet. And it was just so overbearingly hitting on her. And then she just goes off and just smacks him in the face. And I'm going like, I kind of miss this about American cartoons. I'm not saying you should necessarily always do it, but it's kind of nice to see it again. And then Shipwreck's like, yeah, no big deal. Hey, Scarlet! It's on her again. I'm like, oh.
And it's, why wouldn't you roadblock and heavy duty from the fact that heavy duty doesn't roadblock after discovering the truth about it? Sorry, big G.I. Joe fan. Still trying to finish the Marvel comics when it's comics season. Hey, no apologies, man. We love people who, heck, G.I. Joe was awesome, so love being able to talk to people who knows what the heck they're talking about when it comes to stuff.
Yeah, to be completely honest. It's I would rather have a diehard, than just somebody that showed up to the fandom 5 minutes late and was like, I know everything because I'm going to get social points. It's like, I don't care if you're cool or not. I just care that you know what you're talking about. And so...
Stars on Scarlet's uniform eventually became Ninja Stars because the comics revealed that she was taking training from Snake Eyes. There you go. There's your answer.
Oh, was that it? Okay. I think when I was a kid, it never occurred to me, and I was drawing I was kind of going like, she from Texas? Is that cheesy American putting stars on everything? Star-Spangled Scarlet? I couldn't figure, so I just kind of went, But that makes a ton of sense. That makes way more sense. It would have been nice to have seen her actually. Did she? I don't remember her ever actually using the stars, but...
I think if they were doing the whole all-American girl thing, I don't think they would have made her a redhead. I think that's what they tried with Cover Girl.
Well, that's actually the funny thing. They never did much with Cover Girl. She had moments where they did stuff, and I gotta admit, and I'm not one of these guys that are like, blondes are great. I'm like, blondes, redheads, brunette. To me, it's all great. So the blonde thing does not sway me at all. Yep. But the original Mass Device Cover Girl, where she basically was in almost completely normal military fatigues, with the glamorous 70s blonde fashion hair, and yet she was, I wish they would have done more with her, but yet she still had a decent little sequence saving all the Joes from the and the container's a bomb, that whole sequence there. I actually liked her design quite a bit. I just wish they did more with her. And then they redesigned her to be less glamorous. And I liked that design. But I was like, dude, just keep the original Cover Girl and make this new design a new character, then develop those female characters. I would have killed for Cover Girl being actually this joke. In other words, she wasn't a model. She was an expert at covering fire. And I would have wanted this whole bit where Cobra's going oh crap, it's Cover Girl, and she's just going and all the Joes are and she's completely covering them all, and the Cobras are getting shot in the butt, and their helmets are getting pinked off, and
This is CoverGirl was nothing more than a tank driver.
Yeah, and on top of it, they could have. They had so many tanks in the show. They could have just done that, and made her like Tank Girl. Yeah, and like, no, I mean, don't give her a mohawk and blah blah blah. But I'm just saying, they could have really done something where you could have had this whole bit where she's being like, super hot and glamorous, while monkey wrenching it.
Well,
It would be hilarious and awesome at the same time.
well, and then there was my idea was the fact that her name was CoverGirl, which of course was the name of a makeup line and stuff of the time period. They could have made her a foe for the Baroness, because the Baroness was always doing disguises and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
And
You said that. That was a great
and
idea.
the fact that make her like
A
Joe
disguise
said,
expert.
in the live action movie. She was a spy and stuff. So it's like make her
I never
there.
saw the live action.
Yeah, same here. It was like have her just a master of disguise type spy.
That would be good too.
Yeah, I mean, because that would have fit her name and would have made her a better purpose and being able to outwit Baroness. I mean, having one episode could have been great of having them disguising themselves as each other and infiltrating.
Oh wow! No, that is freaking great.
I would have loved it.
I would have giggled myself stupid with that.
That would have been awesome.
I'd love to take it a step further, which I know they wouldn't have done in the 80s, but make it where CoverGirl had a girlfriend. Nobody knew because it don't show, don't show, don't tell. Don't show, don't tell. And then Baroness, has to go deep undercover as CoverGirl, and didn't know that. I just would have been like, the everything. The everything about that would have been great. I just would have had way too much fun. But no, that's a great idea, having a counter, because I don't recall the Baroness ever being outdone.
I mean,
even Zartan was outdone. Baroness, I don't remember her ever. Wait a minute, we have an expert. Was Baroness ever outdone when it came to disguises? I remember Zartan being outdone, but I don't remember Baroness ever being outdone. Was she ever discovered? I remember her always just running off. Ah ha 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 ha! Cobra! And everyone's going I didn't see it coming. Every time.
Right, Joe says, in Rise of Cobra live action movie, CoverGirl was the personal AA to Hawk and was an espionage agent. Oh, there you go.
Yes, but
yeah.
I prefer the animated version. I know I'm being a dork, but...
Alright, I'm going to go grab food. Good talking to you, Joe. Good seeing you. Hopefully see you around again.
Mm-hmm. Have fun, sweetie. It's funny with G.I. Joe, and with Renegades, when they did it right. It's when they redo G.I. Joe right, it's great, but I just have this weird feeling that most people actually don't get G.I. Joe. She was almost caught once. She was a member of the Joes on the civilian side and had a thing for Wild Bill. I'm not sure if I remember this one. Let's just say Scarlet and Lady J wasn't having. Lady J came close to knocking Baroness down, close to knocking Baroness's block off a few times. But yeah, she got discovered, but yet escaped. Okay, well, she did then. I was just sitting there like one night I'm going like, was she ever discovered? I'm like, good, because I hate it when a character's perfect. But on the same note, I'm kind of like, because she's not like a super fighter, you know. It's like she had like command positions on missions, like the Worms of Death when they went to get the heavy water and stuff. So she was definitely like a major player, but like when she was really awesome, it's where she just pops out of nowhere and just goes, surprise! And everyone's like, oh, and then she completely screws everybody on the Joe side and goes running, laughing, like, I'm actually hot underneath this ugly suit. And, you know, you're like, oh, she's hot and she's evil. I love Baroness. Especially with that wacky accent of hers. Oh, so good. Serena was Baroness's counter option. Huh. Yeah, now that you mention it. I'm just getting right back into it. Yeah, Zorana. Right. I completely forgotten about that. Especially because she's just got that whacked, thick accent. It was even worse than Baroness's. And I loved how they were able to just go in and be all like, sounding like normal Americans. I don't mean to say it like that. But they just sound like totally average people. And then they whipped off their rubber masks and had those great freaking crazy accents. Yeah, Eric, normal accents. Everyone that sounds just like you. Yeah, that worked. It's not terrible. Something is wrong with this freaking mouth. Okay, I think I just spotted it. She was great in them. She had one of my favorite lines in the G.I. Joe movie. See if I can get it right. Would you want to wake up a clam or something? Oh my God, she was so funny. Oh, Sergeant, why do we have to seal off this here cave? Would you want to wake up a clam or something? Oh my God, I love that group. They just got the most ridiculously wonderful voice actors to do those great accents. I just loved them. Hell, Sergeant. Why do we have to blow up this here cave? Yeah, we were thinking the same line. Because it's a great line. It is so good. Oh my God. You want to wake up a clam or something? Oh my God, that's what I loved about G.I. Joe is... And there are lines in it where... And Lashida was like watching some of these episodes for the first time. When I was watching it for the first time in a long time, and I'm like, oh God, I remember this character. She didn't make any sense to me when I was a kid. And Lashida was like, was that even English? What are they talking about? And some of the lines are just like, woof. But then when G.I. Joe got the lines right, oh my God, they were so good. They were so good. And G.I. Joe the movie had really great moments in it. Oh, I think this is the best I'm going to do today. I like it when this is one of my off days. Years back when I had an off day, but it came out terribly. But this isn't bad, but I think I could have done better. But it has been a long weekend. Alright, here's the part I've been looking forward to. Why? Because I'm approaching my mid-40s and life just ain't as exciting as it used to be. So, Scarlett! Audrey. Not Hepburn. Check the records, darling. You're related to a Joe. I remember that one. Alright. As is tradition, when any two characters face each other in my sketchbook and shall be sealed together for eternity, I swear I didn't do this on purpose, but I tell you what, I don't mind. Audrey meets Scarlett in eternal super hotness. Oh, there we go. Live in my dreams tonight. There we are. And my wife is not here to make fun of me for saying that. Though, if she catches this video later, she will make fun of me. So, whoop whoop. Everyone have yourself a good week. I will catch you later. And have a good one, because we're not going to have weather this nice.